We're here to see it, so we're blessed. We're going to ask Supervisor Trainer, if you don't mind, would you open us up in this new year with a prayer?
Thank you for the privilege. Oh, Father God, we come this morning to say thank you. We thank you, Lord, for allowing us to be here in another year, this 2025. We thank you for all the previous years, Father. This county has been in existence, and we're just praying, oh Lord, that you just continue to bless and move in a mighty special way. Father, we see what's happening on the outside, and we see what's going on in our country and our world today. We're just going to continue to look to the hills, from whence come our help, and all our help comes from you. Father, we pray that you give us insight today to make decisions that are beneficial and those that will assist those that we serve. And Father, we pray that once our business is done, that you give us all traveling grace to go our separate ways and find things in order where we may go. In Jesus' name we pray. Let's all say together. Amen.
Thank you, Supervisor Trainer, for that those words of encouragement and that prayer. Now we're going to move through our agenda. Next on the agenda we have our appointments, and we will begin with our board president and vice president appointment. Do I hear a motion from the floor?
Oh, no, I know we had some recommendations in our packet here this morning. I didn't know whether those were still good or not as far as the president of the board.
Supervisor Williams has indicated to me that he, given the situation at the present time, that he will not be able to perform the duties of board president. So with that being said, he has removed himself from consideration.
My question is new to this, a little bit different. The city is kind of open, and I was wondering that. So you got 4 years on a term, and I think all y'all probably been president a couple times. Is it just typically rotated, or a different person in a 4-year cycle? Is that how it works, or is that?
We have rotated some. Sometimes we've kept the same person as board president in the past, so it just depends on the pleasure of the board.
I'm fine.
It does rotate.
Sir?
It does rotate.
It does. And is there some county that keep people on there all 4 years, or is it?
It has been some discussion about that. Some counties have had some controversy as it relates to electing one at the beginning of the term and whether he'll serve the entire term. And I have a colleague in particular I know that's been on the board for 40 years and never been able to serve. So different counties, it's just different dynamics. Okay. But I think it would be a good opportunity for everybody to sit in that seat. And I think the current president probably will tell you it's an experience that everybody needs to understand the dynamics of what's going on.
It's a different experience, and it's a different outlook, the view from this seat.
I know it's a lot more work. It's not something I'm really interested in this year. I still feel like I'm probably in the first half of the term learning myself, so I'm going to accuse myself too, but I'll be open with whatever the board thinks.
I agree with that, and having said that, I'd like to nominate or ask if maybe you would be willing to serve again, because we've got so much going on and you had to step in and be the county administrator for several months. Is that something that's
yeah, it's been a challenge, but I've enjoyed serving as board president, and I think I've got another year in it, so I would be willing to serve for another year.
Well, I make the motion that we appoint Marvell Howard to be president for 2025.
It's been moved by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little, that Marvell Howard serves 2025 as board president for the Octavia County Board of Supervisors. Any discussion?
I would just say this, I told you this privately, I don't think I've said it once publicly, but went through an interim time before we got Mr. Carpenter hired, and you did, and Mr. Little as well came up to the office a lot, but you went up there and you sat in and didn't have time, or didn't have to do that, but I was very impressed with that. That was noted throughout the community. A lot of people noticed that you stepped up, and you had the time and the knowledge and the resources to do it. So yeah, I would definitely approve this motion today, just with the understanding that you could be the CEO at some point if you wanted to be. But you handled that well.
We're gonna do 2025, man. But I really do appreciate those kind words. Right. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Now we're down to our vice president.
I move.
Either one of y'all want to serve? I don't.
Ms. Little,
Okay,
I will.
okay.
Well, I'll make the motion that Ms. Patty Little serve as our vice for 20.
Second.
It's been moved by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Carver, that Supervisor Patty Little serves as Vice President of the Octavia County Board of Supervisors for the year 2025. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next, we've got the appointments coming from the board. How does the board want to handle these appointments?
I make the motion that we appoint Mr. Wayne Carpenter, County Administrator, Mr. Rob Robertson, Attorney Rob Robertson, as Board Attorney, Mr. Victor Collins as Road Manager, Mr. Clyde Pritchard as State Aid Engineer, LSBP, Bridge County Engineer, Ms. Kristen Campanella as Emergency Management Director, Mr. Patrick Warren as Fire Coordinator, Ms. Shalonda Sykes as Justice Court Clerk, and Ms. Patricia Hobson as Veteran Affairs Coordinator.
Okay, we've motioned, for the appointments from Supervisor Trainer. Do we get a second? Second by Supervisor Williams. Any discussion?
Yes, I would like to say if we could, because I know we have a packed agenda, and I would like to give all the department heads an opportunity for us to, discuss what they have going on with them. Could we maybe have a time one day this week or next week where we can bring everybody in and just have a few minutes, discussion of what they may need from us and what we need from them?
I think that's a great idea. It's been moved by Supervisor Trainer, second by, who seconded that motion?
Williams.
Second by Supervisor Williams, that we reappoint, the members the names that Supervisor Trainer just relayed to the board. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Supervisor Little, do you want to make a motion that we schedule time to meet with our department heads?
To allow y'all information, not trying to intervene
Yes,
in this at all,
yes.
this is just information.
This is good.
We may need to have another meeting next Monday for the hospital issue. Just giving y'all a heads up that you may be meeting on Monday as well, so how that plays into this.
The scheduling part.
Scheduling part,
That's
but
13th.
that would be
We can
whatever.
schedule that all together, or
Okay.
that way.
Okay,
Maybe do our recess meeting and everything.
okay.
I'm unavailable that day. Could we do it Wednesday?
This is,
We can have the virtual component in place now.
if we can, yeah, if you need to be here.
I've got a training all day. Does it have to be on Monday, or it could be this week, or?
Let me check with them, this wasn't our idea, this came from Johnny and that group. I think they're trying to get back here as fast as possible, because
Well,
part
if
of
y'all
this
need to
was.
meet, because it's just time sensitive and.
Tell you what, let me find out if it's time sensitive in on that side of it. I'd really like you to be here, because it's, this whole dynamic's pretty big, so, let me find out and go.
Okay.
Supervisor Little, then, would your motion be to allow our county administrator to schedule
Yes.
times to meet with our department heads based on? Okay, I'll second that motion. It's been moved by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Howard, that we allow our county administrator to schedule meeting times with our department head. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. We are now down to, our county administrator appointments.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so what I would request is a motion to reappoint our comptroller Deanna Collier, our purchasing clerk Deanna Blackwell, our inventory clerk Michelle Tuffy, our receiving clerk Scotty Livingston, and then also I'd like to include our fire investigator Scott Helms.
Move approval.
Okay, it's been moved by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Williams. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay, I think that takes care of all of our appointments for the year 2025. Congratulations to all that was reappointed. We can hit the ground running now. Next on the agenda, we've got, our board minutes to be approved for December of 2024. Can I get a motion? Motion by Supervisor
Second.
Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay, next on the agenda, we have our citizens' comment, period. Any citizens can come and speak to the board for up to 3 minutes. Good morning, Mr. Turner.
Good morning. Good morning, and Happy New Year to everyone.
Good morning, Happy New Year.
The NACP, we have a new slate of leadership for 2025, 26. Our president will be Dr. Ronald B. Tucker. Our first vice will be Dr. Jerry Jefferson. Our third vice will be Willie Thomas. And we would like the prayers of all, because we got a lot going on. But that will be our leadership of the NACP for the next 2 years.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. We'll take that to note.
Make a motion. Second.
Motion for acknowledgement.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer to acknowledge, citizen comment period from Mr. Alvin Turner. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I
Would you
apologize.
state your name, please, for us?
Mary Kelly.
Good morning, Ms. Kelly.
Good morning. I apologize for the way my voice sounds. I have sinus drainage. I would like to say Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
And I'm here again about the roads, the dirt roads on 385 Clifford Lane. And also I wanted to bring to y'all attention also, Mr. Orlando Trainer, you're familiar with these roads, 16 section and Rock Hill roads. You know, once you enter into 16 section roads, the roads are in pretty good condition. But once you pass the bridge, you know, you have to pass the school, then you pass the bridge. And once you pass that bridge, those roads are a mess. And I think Ms. Hill and Ms. Kelly can attest to that. They are a mess. They've been like that for years. They have potholes, and they've been really just packing the potholes. They haven't been completing and fixing the roads. They've just been patching the roads up. And those roads are terrible. And like I say, that is the 16 section road and the Rock Hill road. And those roads needs attention as well. And I know y'all said it was a 3 to 4 year process, but I'm still claiming that God permits time, because I know with God all things are possible. All things are possible. And another thing I have to say, now I had another birthday, so I'm getting a little, you know. So and another thing I wanted to bring to the table. Now I know y'all said that y'all was gonna saturate the roads to kind of subdue the dust. Now when did y'all have that going for us to get out there to saturate the roads to subdue the dust?
Is that the process we're buying the pallet load just for Clifford Lane? We're gonna do an experimental, he expedited and this board expedited and moved it up. And it's a product that, Mr. Collins recommended and you put it on the road, and I think it's temperature dependent and all that. So now,
Okay.
obviously going into probably, I would imagine 50 something, if you're looking late spring.
Yeah, it'll be
I mean,
springtime.
from what I just heard that day, and I know Clifford Lane was taken to the top of the list.
Right.
So
So I was just-
I would imagine it's gonna have to get warm again. So it
Okay.
won't be as dusty, but it'll be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anything's better than nothing until you guys can
But
just.
y'all were
work.
moved up with some experimental things that he recommended and Mr. Collins recommended that. I mean, I imagine the first time it feels good, and that's gonna be probably April.
Okay. All right. Like I say, anything's better than for what we've been dealing with all these years.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys, and like I said, I wanted to bring that to the table about the roads that lead into the dusty roads, the gravel road. So, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Ms. Kelly.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Motion to acknowledge.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Carver, that we acknowledge Mrs. Kelly's, comments. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Do we have another?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Come.
I didn't want to come by him, but she was with. My name is Teresa Rice,
Okay, that's right.
and I was here about the road along with Miss Hill, and I don't know who else may be here about my sister Mary, but she did speak on what I was going to ask about when y'all had said something about doing something about the road, putting something on them. So she spoke on that. So like I said, you know, it would be good as soon as y'all can get to it, because there's a lot of sickness and stuff, and more sickness happening and stuff, and the dust just terrible. And we really do need something done about the road, because they've been like that forever. Ever since I've been out there, I don't know, I'm 53 years old now, so it needs something done about it. Thank you.
Thank you
ma'am.
so much. Motion to acknowledge.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Carver. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Do we have anyone else? Good
Yes.
morning.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, my name is Barbara Hill, and Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year.
I don't know your name, did you ever get a chance to go out on Journey
Yes,
Lane
ma'am.
like you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
we
I
look-
just wanna know, when y'all put the stuff down for the dirt, is that including, does that include Journey Lane also?
Yeah, I mean, you wanna talk about that product?
Yeah, Jordan Lane's already under construction.
Okay.
Okay,
What's the name?
well, thank y'all.
Jordan Lane.
Jordan, thank you.
Okay, need a motion to acknowledge?
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm Cheryl Martin,
Good morning, Ms. Martin.
and I'm back about, the property that was purchased from under me with nothing that I did wrong, but with something that went wrong with the tax assessor's office or whoever did the wrong. I haven't heard anything. This has been going on since October. I was assured that this was gonna be taken care of. I have called, I have tried my best to see what's going on. I talked to legal 1, 2 times. I've been calling, leaving messages, and I feel ignored. I don't know what it is, but I called the people who purchased the land, and he assured me that there was nothing they were gonna do. He was going to wait and hear from whoever needed to be heard from. He advised me to wait also and hear from that. But now I'm getting where I feel ignored. I feel that I shouldn't have had to go through the holidays dealing with this. I should have been able to have some kind of an answer. I mean, I just need to know what is being said, please.
Miss Martin is a wonderful woman. So first of all, let me say that she's not done anything that is wrong in this. She unfortunately has gotten wrapped up in a family. When someone passes away, there's things that are just confusing as to what's going on. So this is part of what's going on here. Miss Martin, were you told when we talked the last time that I spoke to the people that we have to answer to as far as when they do appraisals, people that come and done adjusting and all that kind of stuff for us? You remember when we talked about that?
Well, I remember we talked, and what you told me was something about some taxes that was owed that my dad never knew anything about. Definitely, I didn't know anything about it, but I paid my home taxes. I have a manufactured home. I paid that from day one.
You paid your taxes on the
mobile home.
The mobile home.
Uh-huh.
You didn't pay your taxes on the property.
I never had property
The property
taxes.
taxes themselves were not paid for the last 5 years.
And nobody told us that.
I understand that, but whenever when this got caught was whenever your mother passed away, and that's whenever that was notified. Technically, you haven't, the family hasn't paid for quite a few years. What's being asked of you is to be paid 1 year.
Well, what I want to know is why, if that was the case, this is what this office is for. You all was supposed to contact us. How will we know? My parents was old. They didn't have any more
You're
property
talking about
taxes.
before they passed?
I was told I didn't.
No, it's the property owner's responsibility to make certain that they're not getting, or they're paying the taxes that they're supposed to pay.
Well, they
Now,
were. They didn't have to pay any taxes. They was exempt.
They were
So-
not, they weren't exempt for 2 homesteads. They were only exempt for 1.
Well, nobody ever told them that.
Well,
My property was on that address. It didn't change until after I moved out there.
But the property was in your father's name, correct?
Exactly.
And he was the one that had the homestead, correct?
Uh-huh.
And your father was married to your mother who had a homestead, is that correct? You can only have 1 homestead for a married couple.
Well, that was 2 trailers on that land.
And you had 2 trailers on the land, and that's the reason you had 2.
We didn't know that.
So that's what happened. I'm trying to.
Well,
explain that.
we would get a ticket every year. I understand what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm getting you. But what I'm saying is, we got a ticket every year. I got a ticket for my mobile home. I paid it. We got a ticket for my aunt's mobile home. We paid it. We paid those things. So if They didn't know that, and they should have. But if that office didn't know that, that's not our fault, and especially not mine now. It should be taken care of. I mean, it's getting so
The
involved and
auditor's
redundant.
office says it's your responsibility. I wish, I'll be honest with you, I wish there was a way that we could fix this for you. I mean, honestly, I really do.
Well, why don't somebody tell me exactly what to do? Nobody's even reached out to say,
I
okay,
told
you're
you to
gonna
pay
need
the-
to pay this. No, I know you didn't do me
Yes,
that
ma'am,
now,
I did.
Mr. Robertson.
Yes, ma'am.
You
Yes,
didn't do
ma'am.
that. You said,
I
let
said-
me talk to the tax. Last time I was here, you said, let me
When
contact
you
the
were
state
here, but
auditor.
you've been in my office twice since then.
I've been in your office and talked to you once. And you told me, you
And how
called
many
me.
times we talked on the phone?
We probably talked 2 times.
Okay, we talked enough for you to have known this.
Known what? Cause nothing was certified, nothing was set
The last
and
time you
told
came
me.
in my office, let me back up. Maybe you misunderstood what I was saying, and I apologize for that if you did.
Okay.
That's on me. We don't have a legal route to go to get you taken care of in this situation, because it's not our responsibility. The state auditor's office tells us what we can and cannot do. And I apologize to you for that. I wish I could. But you have to pay this particular tax. Technically,
Are you saying there's 5 years in question, but she only's gotta pay 1 year? Or is that, I missed that?
I'd prefer us.
All 5?
When
How
the
much
same-
is that?
Yeah, when the same thing happened with when my stepfather passed away and my mother was there, and then it was a long deal. She lived in Hines County, and they told her on the stuff, cause there had been homestead and then there wasn't homestead. And they told me, cause I was the executor of the estate, and that was there, and after 3 years, fussing and fighting and trying to get it the way, because nobody had gotten in contact with me. I hate to say this, but the bottom line will tell you what they told me, cause this is exactly what they told me. They said, either pay the taxes or we're selling it at auction.
Well, I was executive of the state.
And
and
that's, and they were pretty, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to
Yes.
round around and come
Yes.
up with the money personally to pay it.
I was executive of the state when my mother died in 2020. 2021, I came up to the office. We went through the process, so I could be exempt simply because I'm disabled. A red flag should have went up. Nothing went up. Now, they sold the property last year. I understand what you're saying, but it's not adding up to why all of a sudden it all falls in this category where you all are free of it and I'm the one holding the bag.
Because it was for 3 years. A tax sale
I
doesn't
understand
occur.
that. But when I came the first year,
Uh-huh.
21, let's stay on
The
that.
tax
I
office.
came to the tax office, they did the whole thing. I shouldn't have been able to even get that land and that property under my name. It's under my name. It shouldn't have never went to my name. It's a red flag should have come up and said taxes owed on this property. Then I could understand that. But here we are now, 3 years later, property been sold, and the only thing standing between me and the situation you're talking about is the people who bought it are very understanding, because they say they run into
And
this a
they're
lot.
good people.
And so this is the thing, is that when I called you, all I want is some answers. I don't want to have to just track to
I'm
the
not
I don't even want to be here this morning.
We've had this
Nobody
conversation
returned
at
my
least 3
call.
times.
I said,
I can't say the same thing 4 times in a row and you still not understand. I really do want to help you.
last time I was here, you told me you'd be in touch with me.
In here.
And you did not get in touch
Yes,
with
we
me.
did. We talked to you.
No,
since
sir.
that
I think you're doing
Unfortunately, this is during citizens comment period.
Yeah.
We allowed you to go over.
But that's
At the
state
very
law.
beginning, yeah.
State law.
At the
That's
very-
what he told me,
Yeah.
and that's what I was waiting to hear
But
from
we're
him.
gonna have to, we're gonna have to, you know, you probably.
Well, I
have to go
can't
to-
talk. He won't call me
But I
back.
mean, you have to go to his office and continue this.
I went to the office.
At the very beginning, the board thought that was a legal route. We thought that it was an erroneous tax sale, but it ended
It
up
is.
not being, according to the state statute. So at this point, if you, I'm sure Attorney Robinson would be glad to sit down and
Do you still
go
have my
through
cell
it,
phone?
but,
Just call me, please.
Call
You
myself.
have mine, because I don't know when you're in. I've called so many times, your secretary, I have it notated. So I'm just trying to say, I know what y'all are saying,
Yeah.
and it's smoothing over nice for y'all, but it's not smoothing over nice for me. This should have been taken care of in 2024.
Well,
And you can understand, both,
Let's
all of y'all
talk
can
about this
understand mine.
when you're not in a situation
Yeah.
where I'm afraid I'll say something that you're gonna have to pay more for.
thank you, Ms. Martin. I apologize.
Motion to acknowledge Ms. Martin's,
Second.
presentation.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer to acknowledge Ms. Martin's comments. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. We had Judge Turner pencil in, we missed her when we were doing the agenda. So right now, if the board doesn't mind, we're gonna ask Judge Turner, she'll just, okay, you got another citizen? Okay, all right.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
I'm here because I want to just let everyone know that I'm still very concerned about Clifford Lane getting paid. And I know Mr. said something about 4 years, but as I have spoke with Supervisor Trainer about a couple of years ago, I mentioned something to you about some white rocks or something like that. So I just wanted the board to know that it have been discussed before now. So it shouldn't be 4 more years before our road get paid, because I have spoken to him about paving that road, that's Clifford Lane. So I also want to say something about Clifford, Kelly Road. Now Kelly Road got about a quarter of the road paved. I think it's about a mile long. About a quarter of it got paid about a year or so ago. And it was, me and you had a conversation, you said something about nobody's living over there. But my thing is, if taxes are being paid over there, it's still like an active road. And plus, I have a cousin that's over there all the time with livestock and stuff. So the road is still being used. So my thing is, why is it that it's only been paid a fourth of a mile, and then it want to be said, well, that's because nobody's living over there, or whatever, nobody was living over there at the time. But we are still active over there on Kelly Road, because that is property, and we do care about it, and we're concerned about the road condition and everything. So I just wanted to bring that before the board and to see whether, to make sure that, you know, we don't get left out when it comes to getting Kelly Road plus Clifford Lane paved. And as concerned citizen, I'm hoping that, you know, we're doing the right thing by being active and coming up here and letting you all know that we are very concerned. We are taxpayers. We work, and we just want to be treated like everybody else. So that's what I want to say.
Thank you so much.
Did you,
Miss Kelly?
Yeah, Miss Brenda Kelly.
Brenda Kelly, okay. Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Carver to acknowledge Miss Kelly's comments. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We're gonna call Mr. Bell with his comments, then we'll get Judge Turner.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay.
I'm gonna share these pictures. This starts back in 2020, I believe. There was a mobile home being pulled down Rock Hill Road, tore the truck up, and the county needed somewhere to get it out, so they pushed it over on some property that my family had. It took quite a bit of time, and I think maybe a dumpster was put there to put the remnants of the trailer in. But whoever put the dumpster there has created a dump site. And there are pictures there where there are people that have actually backed up and unloaded concrete, building material, all kinds of stuff. So it's created a big eyesore, or actually the road that we go in on, we can't even get to that property because of the blockage. And like I said, it's just, I want to make sure that we just make an official notice that it's time to try to get help get it cleaned up.
So there's been a quote, an in-house quote, and then a quote done by a private contractor to get all this cleaned up?
Right, there had been an in-house assessment of it. I don't think, other than looking at it, I don't know whether it's been a cost associated.
It's just last thing.
Supervisor, we have done, Vic has been out and looked at it as well, and we've consulted with a contractor. It's gonna cost us about $5,000 to clean that site.
What's this COA mean?
Course
COA,
of action.
number one road department, is that something we do in-house?
That's correct, sir.
Is it, you have time for that?
Yeah, we can clean it up.
Is that hauling the mobile haul?
The mobile home is
chassis?
gone.
Oh,
Now, there's
the
still
chassis.
some trash
At this
around
point,
it.
we just
But
have
just
to
somebody,
have it
once
done.
it was there, it became.
So we just
The
have to
chassis
remove the
gone,
dumpster
it's
and
gone.
all that, there may be some remnants of metal or.
There's some construction debris there that's gonna be a problem though, and that's the point that he's making, is this construction.
That's what we're
debris
trying to
is
get
gonna
cleaned
be-
up, yeah.
Totally different people, I'm
The people just
assuming.
dumped it there.
But do we need just a board order to, a motion to instruct Ricky Collins to clean up?
Yeah.
The dock stuff?
Yeah, well, I think this is actually what's accumulated. And this accumulated after the trailer was originally put there, they just started dumping.
Yeah, those are recent. I mean, I went out there and.
But is there
I
still
got a call
dumpster
from
there?
one of my
Yes.
foremans, so that happened overnight, that happened in one day, somebody hauled that in there and dumped it. We went out and looked at it, and the thing of it is, we gotta, if we do it, we gotta have permission to get on the property. It's under that TVA line, and we can't put a tracker under that line, because if, they told us if we raised the boom within so many feet of that line, you know, it could be catastrophic. That line would actually find that machine. So that material has got to be pushed out from under that line before we'll have to take a dozer in there and push it out. But somebody dumped that material in there. Somebody was hauling that in there with a dump truck, and they dumped it in there. The first time it was seen, my guys called me and said, hey, you need to come out here and look at this. I went out there and I said, well, it's on private property, but you know, we can acknowledge it. But it was put in there overnight. They went through one day, it wasn't there. They come back a day after that day, and it was there. So and you can see the tracks of the truck, that a truck dumped it in there.
How many days, Mr. Collins, would it take you to be able to remove?
Probably a day and a half at the most. Time to get equipment out there, and maybe a day's work.
But the issue of it is, it's been cleaned up before. So when we get it cleaned up, how are we gonna secure it?
Do we ever run cameras as a county? I know we put signs up, can we run a camera?
I guess you could, but the bottom line of it is it needs to be secured. So if the county cleans it up, you know, it needs to be secured where it won't be so accessible to dump. And of course, you know, Rock Hill has had other issues and other things where, you know, there's some legal dump sites in Rock Hill, there was some other illegal dump sites in Rock Hill. But I think that once we get this cleaned up, I'd like to make the motion, if the county wants to do it, that's fine. But if not, we do have a contractor that has given a bid.
We do, yes, sir.
You know, that
We
could
can
also
go either
bring-
way.
And so my suggestion would be.
Be about $5,000 if we go to contract.
So my suggestion would be to let the contractor do it, and that way the county won't have to deal with it, but also it needs to be secured.
Can we do it?
And so are the property owners going to help us in securing the property? If it belongs to TVA, is TVA gonna help us to
It doesn't
secure?
belong to TVA.
Who does it belong to?
It belongs to our family.
So you all gonna secure the property where it won't be,
Can
You
y'all
have this
put,
cleaned up?
can you put up
TVA has an easement.
Kit to
I
everybody?
had put, after this happened, after we noticed it, we put up camera, thought we might do it. We actually followed a few vehicles around trying to figure out who was driving in and out. Are you saying, do we need to put a fence up or something? Gate
something
up?
to secure it, to keep it from being so accessible. As far as the dumpster, we got that taken care of. The dumpster should not have even been there. That was done, you know, and that it should be removed already. That's not an issue.
I guess what Supervisor Train is saying, that so that the county is not on the hook for this repeatedly, we've gotta come up with some situation to where you as a property owner, work with TVA.
In this situation, we created the problem at first.
At first,
Let
this
me say
recent.
it first. If we clean this off, and I think they understand this, if we get this cleaned off, and they do whatever it is that they wanna do, I mean, it's their property, do what they want to with it, and we don't put dumpsters back there, I think we're clear. As long as we, my issue was that we kinda created the problem when we put a dumpster back there. Cause y'all know how this goes, you put a dumpster in there, folks bring everything but the kitchen sink. Well, and, let me rephrase that, and the kitchen sink. In their situation, that's kind of what happened, but once we clean this off and get them back to square one, where they should be, which is a cleaned off area where it's not filth everywhere, it's on you at that point, assuming we don't create the problem. Is that fair to you, Lauren?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, can we get some signage too?
I was saying,
Yeah, we should-
Yeah, we can put some
Signs out,
signs out there that says no dumping, private property.
I put a camera back up. I don't know about a fence, because it's really that
So we're wide open.
very wide.
Is it, Is there a fine for dumping in the county, $500?
There's
We need to have that on that, you know.
And we need to up that fine.
You know, I've got some land in Adenton, and unfortunately, don't complain about it, but we have almost the identical scenario. There's and unfortunately, they go and dump it all up and down the road. They don't care that it's 100 feet away from even the garbage can. It's kind of.
Yeah, it's not the first time. I mean, we have property on the road and they just find a dump, you know, now that the county landfill is closed or city landfill is closed, they just find a spot that's not being monitored and dump. I mean, we've got a couple of, probably go back in the sheriff's record, and we've got some stuff
A
where we
bigger
notify
problem
them
for
before.
us in the future, and this is just to plant a seed so that we can be thinking about this. I have people contact me, and I'm sure over the years y'all have too. Where are you supposed to take stuff like this? Lord, I get a phone call from somebody wanting to know where they're supposed to take an old bed constantly. So we may need to come up with some solutions that may help cure some of this and cure some of their problems and our problems. If we kind of come up with a solution that we can tell the camera, tell the newspaper, and maybe be a little bit more ahead of this.
This again, citizen comment period, we've gone over, but, I think the solution will be, we will clean up this original debris, area, and then from that, the property owner, along with TVA and our board attorney, will come up with something to where the county is not, again, responsible for cleaning
I
up.
don't think TVA cares. I mean, it's not affecting them. They have an easement for overhead power line. That's all, the only thing they have.
But we just need to make sure we come up with something so the county's not on the hook after this initial cleanup.
This is a contracted cleanup.
Yeah,
But we'll
I
get
think
the
so.
signs and stuff.
Yeah.
I make the motion that we, contract the cleanup of this illegal dump site in Rock Hill, and also take the necessary steps to secure the site to prevent future dumping.
What about signage?
That would include
That'd be
signs.
included.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams, that the county does the initial cleanup of this illegal dump site and work towards securing the area so that the county would not be responsible in the future for any other cleanup. Any discussion?
I have, yeah. I'm wondering who keeps this area clean. It seems like the trees has been removed and some, debris has been taken care of. That area is real clean. So TVA probably been doing some cutting under that line.
Yeah, they keep the line.
They keep the line. That means that they have a legal commitment to that area.
It's vegetation only.
Well,
They clear vegetation.
they should have a legal commitment to keep that whole area clean. That's their responsibility. They have a legal commitment to it.
The county's been keeping it clean.
Yeah,
Because
been
it's
keeping
been-
it clean,
yeah.
but it's TVA's responsibility.
So I guess what I'm hearing is, if we had not initially put a dumpster, then we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But since we initially put a dumpster, that may have, created this issue, which the county will now remedy this issue, but no longer be responsible going forward. So, any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next, Judge Turner. Good morning.
Good morning, thank you all. Leanne Turner, County Court Judge, and serve as a youth court judge as well. The last 2 years, you guys have authorized us to apply for federal Title II Mississippi sub-grant funds for our youth court for alternatives to detention. We've been awarded just under $60,000 total so far. That's 100% money coming from the federal government to benefit our youth. I'm asking to apply for a third grant. My deadline is the 9th, so Thursday is my deadline, and I wanted permission to be able to submit that. The way these grants work is that the county pays the funds initially, and then they're 100% reimbursable by the federal grant once they've been expended.
That's good.
And yes, sir. And we, for what we currently have right now are GPS monitors for a home detention or home, curfew from like 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. or they're just on home detention, they have to stay home. And the funds pay for, with the Sheriff's Department's cooperation, the GPS. We've been awarded funds for an employee who monitors those. so that we have, daily updates on if the children are violating their terms or not. We also have drug testing now through the federal grants, where we have strips where we can, even if the child's used in the past, it will just monitor their ongoing use in like real time, like 10 to 14 days through the skin. So we do that as well. And then we also are starting our community service program. It's a restorative program where we have funds to pay for a supervisor for each child when they go to do the community service. And we're meeting with Habitat for Humanity this afternoon about getting the program started. It'll give our young people job skills and hopefully some connections to maybe some people who could give them jobs. And it will also, give them that experience so they can put that on a resume when they apply for jobs. So they'll be benefiting the community by doing the community service, and hopefully it'll benefit them as well by allowing them to develop skills and contacts to get employment. But we would like to, we're gonna ask for an additional $30,000 for under this grant as well, to total up to $90,000. So if y'all would allow us permission to do that.
Vote for permission to apply for the third grant.
Yes, sir.
100% reimbursement. That's
100%
great.
reimbursable, yes, sir.
Second motion.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any discussion? I guess I've got one question.
Yes, sir.
These positions, is this one-time money? I mean, this reoccurring money?
Yes, sir. And we've been hiring students or part-time students to monitor them. But yes, sir. When the appointments are for the period of the grant, so there is no obligation to the county. Plus, I would just end it.
Okay.
When there's no more money, then that position goes away.
Understood.
Yes, sir.
I had a curiosity question. I watched the Forge last night, which is talking about the incarceration rate, just things like that. The cycle of incarceration rates. I know people have gotten into cycling. Does this seem to be more successful that they're able to stay home when they have that parental influence there?
It is 1,000% more productive to the youth. We can get them counseling at home. We can require them to go to school and come back, and then so they're in their regular school environment. While being monitored, the statistics show that if I were to put a child under 18 in juvenile detention, the odds of them being imprisoned as an adult skyrocket. And so this is something when they have a responsible adult who can help with the monitoring, they can stay at home as a reasonable alternative to detention. The cost per night for the GPS is approximately $4. The cost for the county to pay another county for their juvenile detention facility is at a minimum $100 a night. Most of them are $150 or $200.
Didn't we used to have 7 beds in the Lowndes County or something like that?
We did, and my understanding, that was before I got elected, my understanding that was something that the city had used some funds to pay for. That was apparently for a 1-year period. And it does not exist anymore.
Very expensive.
It is very expensive.
Just at $4 a night?
Yes, sir. So approximately $120 a month per child if they were.
I just have a question. What's the time frame for this grant? Is it September to what's the date?
No, ma'am. Every year they're kind of moving it up. If we get a grant, it would be in March.
March 24, 25 to
yes,
March 26. Yes, and for 90,000.
Well, total of 90. We're
additional 30, right?
Yes.
Additional 30 just for Title III.
Yes.
Okay. 30.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. I will
Thank
have
you,
the
Judge.
application for you and Mr. Carpenter to sign at least on the 9th, if not before then.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. Take care.
Next, we've got our fire coordinator, Mr. Patrick Warner.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you for the support for your appointment. I'll continue to do the best I can for this county. I have a couple things, 2 things going on today. I don't think one of these is in your packets. I got the appraisal back for the piece of property that is going to be given to us to the addition to the fire station located on Highway 82. The appraisal came back in the amount of $3,400. If the board is willing, I'm going to have to let Mr. Robinson pick up on this.
This is the previous property from the December minutes, that if we don't accept it, do something with it, that it goes back to the property owner?
Well,
Is that one of the conditions?
similar to that, he was wanting a tax I have to get the word from Mr. Robertson.
The tax credit.
A tax credit for donating the land, and the appraisal came back in the amount of $3,400.
I'm trying to make sure.
I don't think we can give a tax credit, you probably just have to purchase it.
No, the land is going to be given to us.
Yeah,
I know.
it's taxable.
He-
Person will have to be able to collect that when his taxes being.
I think,
I'm sorry.
Mr. Robertson, the email I sent you the other day, and this is on,
The appraiser,
it
appraisal.
came back 3,400, and, Mr. Simmons was wanting a tax, I guess, credit or
For the rest of it.
a break for the $3,400.
Yeah, I think as long as we have an appraisal that shows what the value that he's giving us,
Yes.
we can give him that.
Yes.
Now, what they do with it ain't up to us, it's up to.
Yes.
Past that.
But we wouldn't report it as income.
Hmm.
We're paying out as donated, so
Correct.
it's zero.
Correct.
How will we give them
We,
tax?
we can say give them the appraisal, or tell them the appraised value and be done with it. And let the tax people figure it out past that, because we don't care. You're saying, say that again.
I'm just saying,
I think
the
I missed-
county can't say he's getting a tax credit. We only can say that he donated it to us for zero
Perfect.
cost.
You're correct.
I make a motion to acknowledge the donation of the property
I agree with that.
from Mr. Cecil Simmons.
Yes, sir.
it's been motioned by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little, that, we acknowledge the donation, from Mr. Cecil Simmons for property out on Highway 82.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, would he receive a copy of this,
Yes,
sheet
yes.
right here?
Could I-
Yes, sir.
Mr. Outlaw, he would need, just a copy of that,
I will. I got a copy of the appraisal. It's about a 20-page. I just brought the main copy with the price on it. And I also have the deed and everything in here ready for him to sign.
Patrick, can you give me a copy of that so I can put it behind the board?
Yes, ma'am.
Rob's got something.
Are y'all good with us saying that it's been donated for a value of $0 with the appraised value of X? That way it's at least in our minutes as to what the appraised value was.
Yes. And he can take that appraisal form and file it, and then he can get a tax credit for it. Yeah.
But Rob, but to be advantageous to him, the true value, or the actual value is what's gonna really benefit him. Where you gonna find an acre of land in October County for $3,000?
I don't know. I thought the exact same thing.
So what I'm saying is, I don't think you ought to put it back, let him determine the value, and that'll be on his person.
I think that he's gonna have to use that appraisal.
Yeah.
And he'll get more than $3,000.
So put for appraised value or value, and then move on, don't put a number.
Don't put a number.
Gotcha, with you.
All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
The second item on the agenda is, the county contracts. If the board will approve the amendment to the county contract, you should have that in your packets,
Why was there a reduction?
because we adjusted the budget.
Why was there an adjustment? It normally goes up, I never, is that something you decided, or the state decided, or?
Well, that's something the board decided.
That our
We
budget
had-
decided.
Yes.
apparently wasn't enough to award 30,000 per
Yeah.
fire station, so you went down to 22.5.
Yes, sir.
Most budgetary.
Is that budget is based on the millage that's assigned to a volunteer fire, so therefore, that's what that millage is bringing in, which creates the
So
budget.
they're still gonna be able to figure out that figure,
Yes, sir.
and they all know about it?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Vote for approval on the adjustment.
Sure.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. Next, we have our tax assessor collector, accompanied by Ms. Barbara Homestead. Good morning.
Good morning. I just have to, changes for you.
Make a motion, we accept the assessment change recommendation.
Well,
This
we
bill,
have-
we have to do a motion.
We have to do them individual. The first one is
You
gonna
are
be the
real
increase.
Real property.
Real problem.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer that we accept the amendment changes for real property, second by Supervisor Little. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
A motion for adjustment on the, personal property.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little for the adjustment on personal property. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, man. Have a good day.
Next on the agenda, we have our county engineer, Mr. Pritchard.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Thank you again for the reappointment. We appreciate your confidence. I have for you this morning some subcontracts. This is on the Slurry Seal project on County Lake Road. 3 subcontracts. They're standard state aid agreements. One is for Falcon Contracting, one is for J.C. Cheek to do striping, one for traffic maintenance for the signs. And I'd ask for signatures from the board.
We've already approved those contracts.
These are the subcontracts. You've approved Vance Construction as a general contract. These are the state aid to allow those subcontracts.
Okay.
Make a motion, we approve those subcontractor recommendations.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
And Supervisor Howard, if you'll just signature those and maybe lead them with Mr. Cartner, I'll pick them up at the next meeting.
We haven't had any problems with subcontractors, is that correct?
Any of those?
Right.
No.
Right. You're keeping an eye on that?
Yeah, that's traffic maintenance,
I
do
thought
signs,
you were.
J.C. Cheek for striping, and Falcon for base repair and leveling.
One of the names just sounded familiar, I just wanted to make sure you were,
Correct.
you and I were on the same page.
Correct. Other than that, I've provided an updated estimate on some repair, DBSD and or overlay on Megan Bell Road to Supervisor Howard. Supervisor Little, I believe you sent me an email requesting some of our county permit information. I'll have Corey email that to you. It's an entire package, one with the permit, one with the instructions, one with some, comments. If the email's okay, I'll just get her to send it to you. Okay?
And if you could copy, Wayne, the county super, that'd be great.
Yeah.
You heard the conversation this morning, so you add all those to the list that I've already.
They're already
Y'all
on the
wanna
list.
get-
I
so
wanted to
we're-
raise my hand and say we already working on
Yeah,
it.
we're waiting on the estimates to come back.
But we're working on Rock Hill, 16th section, Clifford, some of those guys were all brought up this morning. And,
Can you make sure I get copies of those?
state aid will sign them. When I get the complete signature facts, we'll scan them and send them to you.
They need them for the board orders.
We'll send them to state aid, they'll signature them and send them back. Okay? Any other questions for us?
Do we need to present the application for state aid payment for Mercury paving for $489?
That one is not a state aid project. On Murphy paving, is that for the Douglastown Road?
Yes.
That was the bond issue, Supervisor Howard, that was the worst. If you remember, we held out 20% or so on them last year to do the reseal work and stuff that wasn't sticking. They came back and did that in the fall. So that's not state aid, that's bond money.
That 21 bond, 24 bond, I guess we'll know.
Yeah,
So
cause,
we
yeah,
need
we
a
just saw
motion
it,
to
it said on
pay
your
that,
thing,
or is that
application
something
state
we do
aid.
with that?
Well, that's incorrect.
You've been back out and inspected and everything?
Yeah, so that was a pre-paved project anyway, that we were gonna level
Right.
and seal and get ready, and we are letting the contract, or have let it for overlay of Douglastown. So that just cleans up the work that Murphy had not finished last year, or had to redo.
Okay.
So for my clarification, we need to cut the check from Mercury for $489,000 coming out of the bond money that was applied to Douglastown Road.
Right.
Okay.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second, by Supervisor Howard. Any other discussion?
I thought there was 10% holdback. Holding back.
We held back last year. They have done the work now, and I'm recommending payment for that.
Motion to pay, what's the full motion? I got myself sidetracked here.
Murphy paving for the finishing of base and repair work.
Mr. Carpenter, you have my letter that I sent with that?
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion?
Might wanna just verify that amount on
All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Pritchett, add Rice Road to this one, Rice Road.
Why is the payment recommended differently?
Do what?
This discussion's over, but in your letter, you're saying you wanted to pay $434.
It's 54, and at 54,786.
Right, we paid them some on the first. You're looking at Murphy's total bill. We owe them the balance.
You got this one, the 54,000. That should be the balance.
Is that the 20%?
We owe them the balance.
This is, correspondence with
We
the
paid
prior
off.
invoice.
Okay.
So the remainder is 54,786, is that correct?
Well,
It's,
54,000?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not the 484, it's the,
Yeah, so that's the
It's the
434.
20% of that four.
paying that amount right
we're paying that amount right there.
The 54,000?
That's what I thought. Not the 4.
Right.
484 was the original contract. We withheld 20%, which is the 54 and change.
You're paying 54,786.
Okay?
All in
Clear
favor?
on that?
Oh, we've already passed it. Douglas now.
Now, wait a minute, there's two of them that say Douglas County.
I'm confused. We have two payments for Douglas Town?
We have two from you from Douglas County.
I put a copy of the original letter in there that said withheld, just for your record.
The
We got two
bill,
of them.
the bill was originally 489,000.
That's
We
what it's
paid 434,000, and the remainder is 54,000. Am I correct, Claude?
You got two bills in there, one.
This
for
was the
54.
December 23 letter when they asked for payment, and I said withhold 20%.
Yeah.
I just put that in as a reference.
It's a reference.
That's all
Right,
that
look at the
Okay.
date, yeah. That's what,
Yeah.
we paid them 434,000. So the remainder of that bill is 54,786.
That's what we owe Murphy, right?
Right.
54,000.
We just put the letter.
I see the
in
date
to
on that
reference
letter,
the
yeah.
first.
I just put it in so you would have it for reference, remember what we did before.
Yeah, but we paid, in December of 23, we paid 434,294. So the remainder is 54,786.
Once the date on the letter is
It's,
clear, what we owe.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions for me?
If not, we need a motion to acknowledge our county administrator, county engineer report.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor, Carver.
Yeah.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I'm glad to see Rice Road being added to your list.
Okay, we're good.
What's going on with Rice Road?
It's,
Well,
can't hardly.
right out there and look at it.
Can't travel down.
Right out there and look at it.
It's all
I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir on the way out, but I personally had a chance to work with Judge Turner. I just wanna say that's an amazing individual.
All right, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next, we've got our Sheriff Phelps.
Captain Word.
Captain Word.
Yes, sir. I've got a couple things, but I believe it'll be pretty quick. So, Lieutenant Shane Owens has retired finally. We are asking permission. I don't mean that way, exactly. He's able to have retired. We're asking to purchase his Glock for $1. We've done with those in the past that have retired.
We'll take those one by one.
Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Little, that we'll allow the purchase of the Glock for $1. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Y'all gonna done a retirement party for him, are y'all gonna do anything, or is he just, he doesn't want it?
I don't believe he wants it. Next thing is, we're asking to apply for a FY26 seatbelt grant. This is a continuation of what we've got for years.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
asking
much
to.
is it, 20,000?
It'll be 20,000, yes, ma'am. Asking to apply for the FY 26 DUI grant also in, for 20,000.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by, Supervisor Williams to allow to apply for the DUI grant. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
All right, I'm gonna do 5 and then 4. So we're requesting for a declaration to officially name the technology upgrades that we've been doing with 365 Labs as the Oktibbeha County Public Safety Technology Upgrade Project. This is gonna allow us to enter in to start asking Congressman Guest through a grant. It's gotta have a title, so we're asking to put a title on it so that we can try and apply for some funding through Congressman Guest.
Say that one more time.
I'll give this to you here in a second.
For some people.
Yes.
Motion for approval, I understand that, that'll help out with additional funding.
Yes, sir.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
And then wrapping it up, we're asking to apply FY 26 for Congressman Guest. It's 100% upfront money, and we are still finding the items that fall within it. But we're just asking to get permission to apply for it once we have everything laid out.
Motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next, we have, our road manager, Mr. Collins.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank y'all for your reappointments. Just got a couple of things, mostly just wanna acknowledge and thank some people, for their help in, a little dilemma that occurred during the holidays. I wanna thank the guys of the county for sticking in there and let's get in a situation where we had to close the bridge, and everybody that we worked with, Sheriff Department for sending down deputies, and we couldn't have done it without you. It's rough out there, and they didn't want to turn around. And they came down, and when they got the road closed where we could go to work, and the guys got out there and they worked on it long hours and got that thing where we could open it back up by that weekend.
You sounded a little concerned about that bridge.
Yeah, it was. I didn't, we got the pictures here, and that was a pretty big hole, and it didn't look like it when you looked at it from the top of the road. All it was, that's it right there.
I didn't even know asphalt could sustain the weight. You're talking about a 3 to 4 foot.
It was about 18 to 2 foot inches of asphalt, and that was the only thing holding it. Every time one of those 250 pickups crossed there, a piece of dirt would fall out. Actually, one fell in on Brad's hand when he was taking the picture. We got some pictures where he took up under there, and dirt was falling out of it when a pickup crossed it. So that's when we determined that it had to be closed, and with Mr. Pritchard's recommendation, we closed that and got that bridge fixed. We do have to do the other side. It's not quite as bad. We're gonna try to schedule that around spring break, while the students are out, and try to get that other side of it done. The boards has deteriorated on the other side as well, and water is actually carrying a little material down through it, but it's not as bad as that side.
Well, I'm hoping in 2025 that we get every bridge in Oktibbeha County graded.
Yeah, we try to get
from worse to so we'll be aware.
Yeah, looking at the other side, you wouldn't think it was anything going on, but when we went up on top, you can see where every time it rained, water just spirals down through it, and so we definitely got to do it on the other side. And we brought the grader out there to kind of use as it was closed, and we put it there to keep people from coming through there. So we had to block that thing up, and we got it signed up, and it's holding up good now. So we got that side finished, and like I said, the other side we're gonna schedule for spring break and try to get it done. That's one of those little short span bridges, and it just hadn't had an inspection in a while, and that hole was, you know, it was a big concern when I went out there and looked at it. Now, we wanna thank Greg Ball also. He was the one that called and let us know that night that it was, that asphalt was beginning to swag. And so that, I told him, I was off at that time, with a little procedure, but we got up and went out that next morning, got the guys together, and we went out there and took a look at it, and that's what we found. So we wanna thank him also for having a watchful eye on it. I got one other thing, out on Lisa Lane, I didn't get a chance to get a picture of it, printed off this morning, but we got a dead tree that's on Lisa Lane that we need to get permission. It's right on the edge of the right of way. We wanna get permission to get that one cut.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer, to get permission to remove a tree on Lisa Lane. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
That's pretty well all I have. If there's anything that the board may have.
I was gonna say thank you. I know you're out for a little while on holiday. Just thank you for, I know you came out and handled that situation.
Well, we do what we have to do.
And I know we got Dry Creek still closed, so I know we got a game plan going on there.
Yeah, as soon as the water let us get in there, every time it rains, that water comes from so far, so it doesn't take a big rain to actually put that thing back out. We put a dam in and it actually blew our covers out. We gotta try to recover those from down the creek. We did find them. We're just getting permission to go on that property and try to get those back. But we are gonna go in there and try to get that thing done as soon as we can get that in there where the weather will let us.
And one question on that.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think it's been painted over a few times. The bridge on Longview Edgerton, do y'all remember that? And it's been painted, and I think it's become a high school senior thing to go in there and vandalize the bridge and put your name, and they're writing their names on it. Some of these,
yeah, they're still doing that.
Can I get that bridge? Like, I didn't know that, and I was asked the previous former supervisor. I mean, some of these names are real unique, only spelled one name, one way, and you know, it's that kid, and
They don't be thinking.
what do we do in that situation? I have to make a motion to repaint the bridge?
Yeah, we're gonna have to paint over it.
Can I make that motion now? I make move approval of that.
Fresh canvas.
Well, I mean, some of the names are spelled one way, and so I'm waiting, I guess I'm gonna go to the house and talk to the child or the parents, but,
yeah.
Just
So,
become.
motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer, that we authorize our road department to go out and repaint the graffiti. Any discussion?
Longview.
Yeah, Longview. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Was that for any bridge or just particular?
Longview, yes.
Also, just keep in mind the comments concerning the project. Whenever you get us a work plan with more.
Yeah, we are. Actually,
you'll let us know, let the citizens know.
we're gonna try to, especially those, try to get those done. And the material to try to alleviate some of the dust, we're gonna try to get it in and try to have it on standby and ready to go. We're just working to try to get everything we can done this year, and hopefully we can get the road rolling as soon as the weather permits.
Mr. Collins, do we need to report to the board anything about your tree cutting bid that's gonna be going out?
I don't think so. We did approval to do that bid, so we just bring back, once the bid is open, we'll bring back to them. Only thing we did include, I guess we need to make sure we got it fixed where we're gonna do a total of 50 trees with an option to grant him more if needed. So I guess that's gonna be legal to do.
We're gonna get 2 renewals on that, idea being 50 a quarter. You guys approve, then we'll renew another without having to bid and do all of the administrative approvals.
Yeah, no, we're gonna add that tree in, out there downtown Montgomery that got missed.
Oh, yeah,
To take
yes,
down.
yeah.
So they can go in.
No, they already, my crew went out and got that one. That dead tree you sent the picture of.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, they went out and got that one. Wayne done went out and took care of that, so that one has already been taken care of. Everything that they can get that won't interfere with power lines and stuff like that, or is not, we don't have to get on the property too far, and the gentleman didn't mind us putting the mini hole over there to push it down, so they went on out there and got it down, and it's been taken care of.
Mr. Collins, if you will, relate to your crew, and they're doing a great job. But let's remind them that when they're out working, as far as interacting with the public, and also when your bridges and your bridge closures and things like that, be a little bit more,
well,
I guess, considerate.
I know what you.
I tell them to be mindful that any interaction will be recorded.
Yeah.
And we've had some constituents get their feelings hurt.
Yeah.
And of course, they'll call. But at the same time, just let them be mindful that we
did,
work for the public.
We did handle that, and I did let them know that is who we work for, and be a little considerate. And I don't mind, Mr. Trainer didn't say, but going out and working on that bridge, a gentleman came up, and one of the guys, he told him he had to turn around, and the guy told him, well, what was he gonna turn around? And he told him it wasn't his problem. He was a little bit, yeah. And so, and I told him, it is our problem. We have to take care of stuff like that, and we don't need to address people that way. So it was taken care of.
Yeah, I have a couple things. Thank you for the repair work on Oak Top Road, and that bridge. I had a little bit of misunderstanding. I thought you could take the whole bridge off, but I'm glad.
Man.
And I knew that would be a real problem.
Yeah, no,
but we had a 2 or 3 day project, and that turned out real good.
It did. They worked on it. They worked on it real diligently, and they got it done. And I appreciate them. I appreciate what they did. Some was off work, and they came back and helped. Help, and so to get that thing taken care of.
And this is something with a pothole repair.
Mm-hmm.
And individuals are complaining about potholes in the road.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, you would have a crew to kind of review the roads rather than for us to have to write a job order in.
Yeah, well, that was one of the things that we did this morning, because I was out through the county, especially on the east side. That's where we got the most storm damage. That's where we got the most material down, and we got a lot of small potholes. I mean, a lot of them. So that was one of the things we worked on this morning. Yes.
For all those
potholes.
Those potholes. Now, this is another thing too. I was wondering, could we use the pothole patches?
Yes.
Rather than using coal mix.
Yeah, we can. When it's not real frigid where it takes too much to heat it up, we can. And that's one of the things. We got that truck back, and everything is good on that. Right. And we are
coal mix doesn't stay very long. It stays for a couple of days, or maybe might last a month. It's gone. Yeah. But thank you for what you do. Now, I want to make a request, however, for Slaughter Investment LLC to have a covet installed. For Slaughter Investment LLC, and I'm going to explain to you where that's at. Covet installment for Slaughter Investment LLC.
Okay.
And that's on St. Mark Road. On St. Mark Road.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer, to have a cupboard installed for Slaughter and Associates LLC on St. Mark Road. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Yeah.
Motion passes unanimously.
And let me say too that that's only to get to their property. You already see what they are already moving back in that property, but they just need a cover to be able to get there instead of just going through the mud trying to get there.
We'll get that taken care of.
I think you know where I'm talking about.
Yeah, if do you have a number for them where they can just flag that area?
Yeah.
So the guys will know. I think we're gonna have to do a little ditch cleaning in order to get it there.
They have flagged it already.
Okay, all right.
Where is this again?
St. Mark Road.
St. Mark Road. Time you get on St. Mark Road to the left.
Yeah, I know exactly where it is.
Now, Blackjack apparently is establishing a new cemetery. And they want to be able to have a covet installed to be able to get to that cemetery. And I have to give you more information on the location of it. So it's a new cemetery being established. My understanding is from Blackjack Church. Need a covet to be able to enter the property.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer, to authorize a covered installation for Blackjack Church for their new cemetery. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
I don't have anything else.
Anything else for our road manager?
Make a motion, second read.
Supervisor Carter.
I just know you're at, I guess Orrin Miller's taken care of, is that, anything I sent you is taken care of?
15 tons, yeah, I mean, it was just a cover replacement, it was covered already there.
And then the Cody
Looking at
Ford.
this what you just telling about, I guess it's a dead deer.
I just sent y'all that, a gentleman said there's a deer, who handles the deer dumpsters? They're overflowing.
I think I do. Apparently I do. That dumpster has been dumped, if you're referring to the one in Morgantown.
This is on Neely Road. He just sent a bunch of pictures and I sent it to them, I sent it to you, but.
Yeah, send it to me. I usually call our contact and he'll get a truck scheduled to go by there.
Okay, there's like 5 or 6 and the pictures laying around, the carcasses, people, I guess when it gets full, they just back up and toss them. Who picks those up?
They do.
That's exactly what they do.
That,
Who
wild
picks
hogs,
them up?
dogs.
Yeah,
That-
A lot of times they throw them out.
I don't know the answer to that. I'm assuming that the waste management people will, get them collected up.
I don't think the
Well-
cemetery will be picking them up, I don't know if they got a front end loader, it'd be the easiest thing to throw them in.
We normally take the, truck and pick it up, the boom truck.
You
we
do?
take- Yeah, we end up doing that.
Can we, get Neely Road cleaned up, cause it,
Yeah, we'll take the truck out.
also, get some calls about one, I'll tell you, but it's a deer processing place that, has called Mr. Carpenter multiple times, but he's in the business, he has a deer dumpster on his site, and he's wanting to picked up quicker, and so I think, I don't know if I need to make a motion, that individual needs to be paying for that dumpster, not getting a free county service, cause he talked to him a couple times in a downward manner that
Well, no, he should be paying for that dumpster.
Is he paying, Mr. Carpenter, is he paying for that dumpster?
He's not paying us. I would caution us that a lot of folks don't like those dumpsters. It's really hard to find somewhere to place them. This individual is willing to allow one to be placed there. I would just kind of throw that in as a point of
It's not costing him a dime.
information.
Well, here's the other flip side of that, it's not just him putting stuff into it, to your point. I don't know where exactly we're talking about.
I thought that was,
Other people are putting deer in
I thought
there.
he paid for that
So-
dumpster.
No, the one in Morgantown is not.
But doesn't he have 2? Never mind.
I'm afraid I don't have all the details
Right.
there.
The last thing I've got for you, speed tables on New Hope Church Road.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a call about those that hadn't came in. I'm gonna call and see what's going on.
Other people are requesting them, I'm not gonna come out everywhere.
Oh, okay, no. But I gotta find out why those others hadn't made it in, and I'll take care of that.
McGee Road was way out
No,
of
it's, that he does.
One other,
gravel road.
It's on,
okay.
and I'll tell you, when we went out there the other night,
We've been having.
We did get that dumpster empty, by the way, and I've called about Neely Road, and we'll see what we're gonna do out there.
It's that time of year.
I don't know how we would do it, but Supervisor Williams can attest, we had a long conversation in our last garbage board meeting about these dumpsters. What's the county doesn't even allow them anymore. They were just so much trouble and.
Unsanitary, but I mean, it's more sanitary than the option of.
Yeah.
not
Throwing them in the creek.
Yeah, we had some
but-
guys that we had to call the sheriff on because they were dumping out there in the creek.
Yeah. I don't know what, but they did talk about how they remedied that problem and not having that issue. But, like we sort of told them, individuals are used to it here in Ottawa County, so trying not to do it might be more of a problem than sitting around.
Trying to find somebody that's willing to take one of those dumpsters near and around them is almost impossible.
It is.
That's what Denny and Mr. Bell were talking about, I mean.
And it wouldn't be bad if they would just dump deer carcasses and animal carcasses, but.
That's right, but
like you said, garbage and furniture and lots of times it'd be, you can't get the carcasses in for the.
For the other stuff that goes in them, that. And on that note, if there's nothing else from anybody else, one other thing that I wanna just run by you real quick, that we'd like to do. Of course, we in need of another pickup, another boom truck. And, kinda come up with something, along with the fire department to remedy that, if the board is pleased. We have a couple of trucks that we converted into dump trucks. And we also have another truck down there that belongs to the fire department that's out of service. I think the water tank is leaking on it. With the board permission, I'd like to get a quote from the bed company, and I think we can eliminate, the road department would buy the dump truck, the fire truck from the fire department, transfer some funds over into their budget for this truck. They have a truck that's down there, and if the board would, like to, we can get a quote on putting a bed on that truck if the board will see fit.
Make a motion, we move forward with the road manager recommendation.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams, that we allow our road manager to move forward with getting quotes for a bid for a boom truck. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
One more that I'll
Okay, go ahead.
Pastor Larry Halford is with, Double Springs Baptist Church, and they've started a daycare program there, and he's asking for a sign on both sides that say children playing.
Okay.
Our standard daycare sign.
That Double Spring?
Yes, sir.
Is that the one?
It's up on the hill.
On the hill, okay.
Yeah, but they just started it, and he said, he's trying to slow down some speeding. It's all rolled out on the road. I'm making a move through.
Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Williams. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Do we have to get approval on any and all those signs?
To have signs put up, you just let them know when you need one now.
Yeah, those for Sturgis, I went out and did a survey on them. We're gonna go ahead on and order those speed limit signs. What we may have, we will put up, but we're gonna have to order some, and so we're gonna do that.
Cause they're gonna try to do that before we do anything else.
Okay, yeah, I just need to get those signs ordered, and we'll be working on that today. I went out last week and did a survey and figured out how many we needed for each street.
I appreciate it.
That jogged my memory. I need some signs replaced, at the junction of Walter Bell and County Lake. Somebody ran off.
Okay.
The County Lake area and wiped out several signs right there.
Walter Bell, what else?
And the junction of Walter Bell and County Lake. Where Walter Bell junctions into County Lake Road.
Yeah,
right there on the corner to the left.
Yeah. And I sent you that email about King's Arms. That machine has been down.
Yeah.
But now that it's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still got a little bit of stuff. It don't wanna do right. It don't wanna cut the letters all the way to the end, so they was supposed to be working on that this morning.
In light of the tornadoes that came through, we talked about trash pickup. Is that the responsibility of the individual homeowners, waste management, or Ottawa County?
That's gonna be some of that is private insurance. The stuff that you're talking about, and here's the big problem.
Debris removal.
Yeah. It's contractor debris, like concrete. You know how this is when you're out at the university. It's totally different. Household garbage is one thing. This stuff is a totally different ball game.
Who picks it up?
it's the landowner's responsibility to take a big old thing and have it removed. I mean, it's their responsibility. The insurance usually covers it. But the difference in, I think when we were talking about when Morgantown had all of the trees down, trees are different than garbage, this kind of contractual contract for debris. Trees are, that you can put in a place like we normally do. This other stuff is not. It's stuff that they have to be more diligent about.
I just had a couple people ask.
Yeah, and it's a pain, it's a headache, and I wish to goodness we had a better way of doing
Now,
some of this.
debris that they bring to the road, just where they have stuff in their yard and it come down, we do pick that up. That's what that boom truck does.
But not house stuff.
But not house.
You're not picking up
stuff.
shingles or
Not the
nothing?
whole
No, we
top.
don't.
Not siding and roofing.
Yeah, we don't. We pick up the bushes and the trees and stuff like that, but we don't pick up the household debris. Yeah.
But now if you have a contractor come in and do that, I think they're responsible for removing the debris.
But the homeowner needs to make sure when they say debris removal, that they say that it is removed from their property and gone, because a lot of times they'll put it to the street. They'll remove it from the house and then they'll put it to the street.
Well,
And part of their contract needs to say they have to.
Y'all, what makes this a little confusing too is, we do have
Our
good people.
responsibility.
They
They put it on the street.
He got it. We end up going out there cleaning it up when nobody else is doing it, but it's not our responsibility.
And we don't have anywhere to take all that. We don't have the manpower to do it.
Yes, sir.
Then it becomes ours.
It starts becoming ours as soon as it starts making its way to the streets, so you're right.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I would call you about this, but I'm constantly getting calls
Okay.
about, some gravel being, not spread on Stalin Road, because it's a nursing home out there on that road,
Yeah.
and people
We
are
would-
trying to get back and forth to that nursing home.
Yeah, we're working on that. In fact, we had,
Somebody probably called you.
yeah, we had, well, somebody caught one of the trucks. They were out there dumping on Harris Road, and they did notify us about that, and we are, the storm kind of got just a little bit in the way of us finishing up, but we are working to try to get those areas fixed. Because I put every truck we had last week down on to get, Robinson Road taken care of, and we got it taken care of, so we'll get that taken care of also.
Right, okay. Thank you, Mr. Collins.
Right.
Nothing else, we need a motion to acknowledge the road manager's report. Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
All right.
Thank you,
Y'all
Mr. Collins.
give us a phone call. I don't get the texts quite as fast, cause I don't
Let the
have
guys know we appreciate what they do.
We do, we'll do.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Next on the agenda, we've got our Chancellor Clerk, Ms. Livingston.
I got a few things. First off, I received a letter from the State Audit Department approving the Watkins Board and Staffers for year 2022 audit. So once that is final, then, approval for the payment of the invoice.
Need a motion to acknowledge that. Motion by Supervisor, Carver, second by Supervisor Little. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
And the next thing I have is, approval of the payment for my part of the PERS that the board has always paid. I have to renew that every year.
Motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Carver. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Next, we've got, our emergency manager, Ms. Christian Campanella. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Good.
Thank y'all for the reappointments. I appreciate you letting me have another year. Thank you. So what I have is the Homeland Security, Cybersecurity Grant, and I did bring out some copies for that too.
I'm gonna tell you publicly, we were in camp with, Director of the Office of Homeland, Mississippi Office of Homeland Security, Mr. Kruger, and Ms. Perkins, and I had a conversation with a table full of senators and reps, and he mentioned you by name, and said that he always enjoyed working with Tuckahoe County on the cyber side, and mentioned Brett and Shankfeld, and so he really spoke highly of Tuckahoe. To do it in the setting that he did, it was special. Well, you know
Thank you so
that.
much for letting me know. I appreciate that. So this is the Homeland Security grant. We got approval to apply for this in March. It is 100% a reimbursable grant. It's for $19,000. What this will do will enhance our server. We'll get a new server and new network security, and what it will do is just monitor whatever we've got going on. All of our systems are IP-based or cloud-based systems, so we need something that's a little more robust. And this is the first phase of this grant. There'll be another opportunity to apply for additional in March. So we'll probably be coming back and ask for permission to apply for the second round.
Move
And
approval.
I think there was a question. I'm sorry.
No, can I move approval?
Yeah, sure.
Motion by Supervisor Carl, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Well, I think there was a question, and I think you was getting ready to allude to that.
About the
But,
maintenance.
yeah, about the maintenance agreement, there and replacement of equipment. And then whether or not Attorney, Robinson has the opportunity to review.
Yes, sir.
To review this grant, so I would think that would be pending, Attorney Robinson review.
She and I have talked and I've reviewed it.
Right,
And I'm
okay.
good with it as far as my side of it.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Thank you.
100% reimbursement.
It is. Yes, sir.
It's separate from the.
Any other discussion?
Yes, it's
All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Perfect.
All right, thank you.
appreciate something that we've already been doing.
Okay, next, we have our county administrator, Mr. Wayne Carpenter.
Well, thank y'all so much for the reappointment. The reappointment of my staff. Wouldn't be able to do it without them, so. Got a few items on the agenda here. The first one is payroll changes, and I had some walk-ons since that time that I, prepared this list for y'all. Essentially, we've got about 4 items from the sheriff's department, a couple resignations, promotion, retirement, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 additions that came in since I prepared this. The youth court wants to give a raise to Miss Eliza K. Johnson. We need to also approve the appointment of Mr. Dennis Daniels as election commissioner, or I'm gonna pass that around. They only gave me one copy of that thing right as this meeting was starting.
You wanna do them all together, or you wanna do them at one time?
We're gonna do payroll separate.
I want to ask about the last, that is, that does come out of her.
Yes, ma'am, that's a Title II grant. That's what she was talking about, that Title II person. And then I got 2 in from the sheriff's department.
2 additional ones.
2 additional ones, and it's just pay raises.
We can do payroll changes for the sheriff department, I believe.
And then do tax assessment.
Yeah. So, we get that, let's move forward then. I'm a motion for approval for payroll changes.
Sheriff's department.
Payroll
Y'all
changes
want
for all
to
the
send that
sheriff
around the
department.
table.
And I would say that those individuals are resigning, speak highly of your department. They're not resigning because of their dissatisfied with, operation. Yeah.
It's been motioned by Supervisor Williams, and second by Supervisor Trainer to approve payroll changes for the sheriff department. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Okay. We have
Motion for approval for payroll changes for the tax assessor office.
Second.
It's been motioned by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Carter, that we approve payroll changes for the tax assessor's office. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Is that all your payroll changes?
We have 2 new hires, were those included in with that
Sheriff
addition? Yes,
what
sir.
sheriff
Yes, sir.
department, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
that should be included.
County
All right. County court. Yeah, well, they didn't do that one.
Yeah, we need a motion for the county court.
You asked questions about it, so yeah.
Motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Williams to approve, I think it was a pay increase for
Pay
county court.
increase in the county court, yes, sir.
County court employee. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, that handles the payroll change.
Next item is the approval of the holiday schedule for 2025.
Move approval. Good.
Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Williams, that we approve, holiday schedule for 2025. Any discussion? You sure you wanna do them all? I'm kidding. All in favor? Motion passes
We're gonna
unanimously.
add some to it, so just wait.
I know.
There'll be some amendments.
Yeah, there'll be some amendments.
Absolutely.
We got Deanna on the ball.
The third item is the payment of claims, the claims docket. Got about $5,259,000 on the claims docket this month. Copies were included in your packet.
Will we pay claims?
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams, that we pay the bill. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
The fourth item is the payment of the credit card. You should have had a copy of that in your packet as well.
For approval.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor
Second.
Trainer, that we pay credit card bills. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Fifth item, we have two invoices, one from Slaughter and Associates and one from the National Association of Counties. Those items should have been in your packet.
Make a motion to pay the invoice.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. We pay invoices for Slaughter and Mississippi Association of Supervisors.
National
No,
Association of
NACO.
Counties.
NACO.
Yes, sir.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
I plan on
Well,
going
I
to
got some questions about that. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna plan, I plan on going to NACO this year, so I'll get with Deanna and, what month is it?
It's gonna be in March.
March, yeah.
But that's,
Where is it being
this is
held
last
this year?
year though.
No, yeah, this is
Board
probably.
membership for last
Yeah,
year.
I just wanna let y'all know the
Yeah,
board.
yeah, this is membership.
Yeah, it should have been already paid.
For last year.
I know, but it should have been already paid.
Yeah.
Right, so what are we gonna do about membership for the coming year?
When the invoice comes out, we'll pay
Yeah.
it.
I don't pay anything.
Well, I guess you do it, but like I said, this invoice should have been paid
Yeah,
last
it
year,
should
but
have
this
been
this
paid.
was overdue.
It was old invoice.
I'm sorry, I was looking
Where is NACO being held?
Oh, it's gonna be, this is gonna be, the latest conference is gonna be in DC, of course. But as far as the annual conference, I think in July, it's gonna be in Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was just thinking that membership should be paid before we attend the conference, is what I was thinking.
I guess they need to.
If you'd like, I'll follow up and try and
and
see where this year's invoice is, Supervisor.
Right, let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
at. Y'all want us to go ahead and process it for payment?
I would, yeah.
Did we carry this one?
No, you can carry that.
I think I had,
Yeah, pay it.
yeah, NACO.
For-
All,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
For purposes of our minutes, and I'm sorry to ask this, but this is the NACO 953,
National Association of Counties.
is that last year's bill, or is, I don't understand.
That's
So it's
last
2024's bill, not 2025's bill. Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out. Thank you.
So we've got a motion and a second to pay invoice for Slaughter and Associates and for NACO invoice for the year 2024. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Now we've got did we have a motion to go ahead and process payment for 2025?
And we probably should have already got an invoice, because it probably should have came out back in November, so I'd make a motion that we go ahead and pay our upcoming NACO due for the period of 01/2025 to 12/31/2025.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little to a invoice for the year 2025 for NACO membership. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Last month, you guys had authorized me to take a hard look at the ARPA funding. How it had been distributed, how it had been obligated. With the help of, Ms. Collier, we've been going through all of this. I provided you with a report as of December the 17th as to how this money, what we had spent it on to date, what the current obligations were, and how we had to identify what we needed to obligate. So based on our analysis, we had $1,235,802 that needed to be obligated. We looked at all of the current contracted county projects that involve current county monies, and we determined that the best course of action would be to allocate that $1,235,000 towards the Sturgis Maven Road project. Those contracts have already been done, that money's already obligated. What that's gonna do is free up, obviously, $1,235,000 in FY24 bond money that districts 1 and 4 had obligated towards those funds.
I don't think District 1 had any of that money, did their bond money?
Yeah, based on what I'm showing, District 1 had.
It's 2024.
Yeah, 2024 bond money.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna let that 21 bond money go towards that project, and that way we'll clear that bond off of the books, and we'll go ahead and have all that money spent. We're gonna free up the FY24 bond money, and it's not all of it, and I don't have the balances in my head as to what portion of FY24 bond money would remain for Districts 1 and 4 going against that project. But FY24 bond money is $481,333 from District 1 and $754,469 for District 4. So since we're substituting the ARPA money, those funds are gonna come back to the board. And I'll let y'all decide how, what we wanna do with those funds.
Question? Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that I know some of that ARPA funding was allocated to our road department to build, a shed and also, maintenance department. So some of that ARPA money was obligated to do that. So in turn, I guess we can take some of this and continue, if the board decides they wanna continue to move forward building those sheds.
Can we use that bond money for facilities? Was there some stipulation in how that order?
I think we got some flexible language.
Okay.
Yeah.
We could, but I don't think they have all the documentations in place by 2012. By 12/24.
Yes, sir.
The end of the year, there was certain documentation.
That's right.
that we submitted.
We weren't able to spend the ARPA money on those facilities
Right.
because they couldn't get it obligated.
Couldn't get it
in a time
obligated.
manner.
But these are the ones, the current one is the one that you could get obligated in time.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Yeah.
Now, I think what Supervisor Howard is saying is of the $1.2 million that gets freed up in the FY24 bond money, I think he's proposing a discussion surrounding using those funds to pay for our maintenance shed and our equipment cover.
Right. Because we've got flexible language to where we can do that. But that's not gonna take all of it. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there. A lot of that came from what was allocated to District 3 on the County Lake project. And since we've got that conversation coming up here, this month, that maybe the board look into, setting that aside because we don't know exactly yet what we might have to do. But that would be another suggestion that we can talk about, with this money that's freed up now. But that's a discussion for the board that the board needs to have.
Yeah, we need to have that, and so I wanna say, thanks to you for looking into this, and did you meet all the, timeline, and that had to be designated by the December, is all this, meet the ARPA deadline?
Yes, sir. As of December the 21st, I still had a couple of items that were outstanding, but we did get a signed contract in from East Octavia All Wastewater that was dated December the 30th. So he did get his funding obligated. I was prepared to,
12 hours.
I was prepared to, I had a plan to consume those dollars had he not been able to provide that contract, but he was able to provide it.
And you're doing this through the holiday season?
Yes, sir.
So,
Now, some of that cost is still a little bit up in the air in that the contract that he has signed is in the neighborhood of like $344,000. But then there's some engineering fees that get tacked on top of that a little bit. So I set aside $375,000 in ARPA money to pay, to take into account those engineering fees, which have not been nailed down exactly at this point. But as soon as I get my pencil sharp and know exactly what that is.
That's a good contingency built in. I'll, if y'all don't mind, got anything else?
yeah, I got you. Because I guess going back to that, you know, before we, I don't have a problem with your recommendation, but I really think that the board really needs to to recommit to the Octavia Hall County sewer situation. I know when it first started off, we had allocated, I guess, a substantial amount of ARPA to this particular project, and at the time, I think that was a priority. Now, I know some things have happened, and I think some of the dynamics of the board and some of the perspective of the board has changed, but I still think that we shouldn't abandon, you know, sewer priority as it relates to the county. Now, are there some things that need to be worked out? I would say there would be, but I hope that the board still has some commitment to expanding sewer service, you know, throughout the county, through Octavia County Sewer Association. And I know that's going to entail a little bit more conversation. I think they've been working on some stuff, trying to get some things worked out, but I don't have any problem with the recommendation. Only thing I'm just concerned about is that if the money started off with being, I think at one time almost $4 million, and now they've actually utilized just $375,000.
It was 3.5 million.
Yeah.
And then the state was gonna double that. We had set aside $7 million to be able to work.
But we couldn't never get the proper paperwork and stuff from
We matched the two together.
from the East Wastewater
We're never
District.
gonna get another
I mean, that's why we
project.
didn't, that's why we pulled the money.
We're never gonna get an opportunity like that
Yeah.
again.
Well, I do wanna say this, I do think we need to take care of all of our citizens, and I do think wastewater is a problem. But whoever is in charge of the East Wastewater Association, however we expand it, those are the conversations we need to be having, because we have to have it handled professionally, upfront. We can't be waiting until December the 30th to get a contract, you know, for something that that they've been coming to us begging for something, and when you ask for information, you don't get it. I think if we're gonna go forward, it has to be a give and a take, and if we ask for something, we have to get it back promptly.
Right. Well, I agree with that. And if the board makes a strong position on some things, and I support that too, because I understand the dynamics of it.
You know,
Well,
that's there.
the beauty of it is, we're not under the gun. We've allocated the ARPA fund, so we're not under the gun now with this, so the board can have these conversations. But I would say not drag it out. Let's go ahead and have these conversations. But we appreciate, our comptroller and our county administrator for handling this critical business for the county, because we absolutely don't want one penny of these funds to have to be returned. I mean,
We want all of it.
everything.
And then some.
And I've been pretty vocal about this. I'm absolutely not happy about waiting till the last possible moment to submit a contract that we've been asking for years. Because now that doesn't give you time to review anything to see what's legitimate and what's not. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
We appreciate your work on it, though.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
I had help.
well, and on top of having to continually call and say, come on, we need it, we need it, we need it. I mean, it's just unprofessional, to have to do that.
Motion to accept the county administrator's recommendation.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
The last item on my list is, budget amendments. We've had a number of things that's happened, since the budget was approved. We need to get a few adjustments made to those budgets. Got looks like about 10 items. I don't know that I counted them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 items. First item was we had received $199,000 in District 5 FY21 bonds, funds that were returned from the state aid Octok Road project. What we need to do is take those funds and receive them back into the coffers and do a budget adjustment that would put those dollars back available to District 5 since the state aid road project did not require them.
Right, motion for approval, because that was some of my bond money coming from District 5. So those funds are just going back into those.
That's my plan, unless this board has any objection to that.
No, I'm motion for approval.
Second.
You have some more similar ones.
Yes,
coming
sir.
down the list too.
Motion and second, I'm sorry.
That's for the
Motion by, go ahead, I'm sorry.
That was for the 199,013, is that correct?
That's
Right,
correct.
that's
Looking
right.
at number 8, have you got a copy of this
I got
list?
it. Just making sure I'm keeping up with you.
All right.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Carver. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
All right, item B, same scenario. In this case, it's, in regards to District 1. They received $192,800 back in, state aid, from the state aid department, FY21 bond funds for the Maven Sturgis Road project.
Move approval.
Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Item number C, the Emergency Management Agency received a donation from Fort County in the amount of $1,500.
Move approval.
Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Little. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Item D, the Emergency Management Association received $1,500 donation from the TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Item E, the Sheriff's Department received $500,000 from the state of Mississippi to be used for their communications project.
I'm second.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Item F, the Sheriff's Department received $50,000 from the state of Mississippi for the use to purchase a patrol car.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Item G, Oktibbeha County received on behalf of Maven Post Office, $50,000 to be used for renovations.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Item H, the state of Mississippi provided to the Board of Supervisors $500,000 to be used for the Morgantown Bridge.
Motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Carver. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Oktibbeha County Board of Supervisors received $50,000 from the state of Mississippi to be provided to the VFW post. I think it's 3577 is the number.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
And then finally, we have a request from the Sheriff's Department. What they want to do is move some budget off of their salary line
to other expense lines. The, board did approve them to hire an additional 5 people in their budget. They have had about a quarter where they haven't had those people on board, so that salary has not been spent. Now, when we do get those people on board, they're gonna need to buy all of their body armor. There's some training in there. There's weapons and things of that nature that need to be purchased in support of these 5 positions. They're wanting to move that quarter's worth of salary that hasn't been used off of that line into some other line so that they can purchase those items.
Motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Williams. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Supervisor, so to your questions or comments, that concludes my report.
Anything else for our county administrator? If not, need a motion to acknowledge the county administrator's report. So moved. Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Carpenter. Now we are down to our board attorney, Attorney Rob Ross.
We do have some federal cases that may be concluding over the next 30 days or so, and we'll have to have some discussions about that, but rather than get y'all too deep into the weeds, and right now, because I don't have an actual, I mean, there's nothing I can ask you to approve at this point, I'll bring that to you whenever I have a solid number, that will at least get the finish line on our federal cases that we have out there. We did have some movement on a couple of other cases, but nothing, enough solidity to even bring to the board at this point. I think we're lucky enough to have our board president go and sit through all days worth of mediations. I do apologize.
No problem. Not a problem.
But moving forward, we do have some pretty big things coming up in 2025, and it's going to take a while for me to get you saying that, but we've got some big things coming.
Checks wrong.
I will. But right now, I will apologize on the front end. Y'all do know that January, February, and March of every year is pretty crazy. I would ask that if y'all do have some things that you're going to be looking toward trying to do in our community, just give me a holler privately, and we'll try to plug in where we can help. We'll try to help, and that goes. And I'm sure that goes for our senators that represent this area, as well as our other House members that represent this area. A lot of times, because I'm here, y'all don't get to sit check as much, but I'd like to throw a plug in for him. You know, he does a great job for us. Bart Williams does a great job for us, and we have other people that come into this area. Miss Ella comes into this area as well. So just pray for us for the next 3 months. And I do apologize if you're trying to get a hold of me and it's hard to get me. Text me. I'll get back with you as soon as I possibly can. And thank you for my appointment.
Did you want to set the next meeting date you said for Monday?
Yes. I'd like to get it set for that Monday if we could. However, that's up to you guys.
What about Tuesday, 10, 11,
Tuesday.
I'm not gonna be here for long.
You're not gonna be here for
No, let's go ahead and schedule it.
All right, let's schedule for Monday.
Are you off a session on Monday?
I'm not. I can be there about 1 or 2 o'clock, which means that I can be here, which makes it easier for me to be here.
For 8:30 that morning.
Right.
9
So
o'clock.
that's
You need to get to Jackson.
That's my intent.
But I thought we approved this.
Let's do it for 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock on Monday.
I'm good for 8 o'clock Monday if y'all can do it. Now, keep in mind, we do have people driving from Jackson. This is the main thing. Y'all want to shoot for 9 o'clock, that way it gives them an extra hour to get here? Okay.
That's
Let's
up
just
to
do
you,
that.
because you're going back.
They'll be, my situation will be fine. I just worry about these people driving from Jackson. It's awful early for them to try to make it here. So 9 o'clock Monday.
Who's driving from?
That'll be our recess.
Some of them driving from Jackson.
Bucks nothing.
Butler's not
Maybe.
listening.
And you know, hotel the night before.
They'll be.
They'll be
If they don't,
They'll
the
be
kids
here.
don't cost us anyway.
They'll be here.
I say 8 o'clock.
We'll make that our recess meeting, and we'll try to hold that meeting down to a lot of items so we don't
The only other item that I'm aware of that would have to come on that agenda is that Clearwater Consulting.
Okay.
They're wanting some time, and then,
Leaving with the department heads, are y'all gonna do anything?
That's gotta be another
That same day, well, we were gonna,
do we wanna handle that as a working session or an executive session, or how?
My objective, I was thinking, I wanna learn from them as much as they wanna learn from us, see where we're at, you know. At this point, I mean, I do like the blanket improvement, there's no one that I particularly want to discuss, and we've already approved that, reappointment, but I do wanna ask them areas of improvement.
I also wanted to make certain, we do have some people that are asking for some push toward getting those RFQs for lighting and all that kind of stuff. Now, y'all keep in mind, and I'm not trying to degrade or dog these people, but they're sales.
yeah, just kind of.
They're trying to sell us a product, and I'm kind of slow rolled this a little bit because we've been down this road before. This is about the second or third time I've dealt with someone similar to these people. If the county wants me to go ahead and get this RFP together and make it something that y'all want to do, I have no issue with that. But they're wanting us to try to get a request for proposals for this, getting the energy requirements and things like that. And I don't know that we were necessarily in that headspace quite yet, because I don't know what money we use.
Have you talked with, Starwood Utilities to see what program they have?
I don't know, sir.
They have.
The only group I talked to is this particular one that came and tried to sell us on the deal.
I knew that the ones that had come before, the only reason that I was really liking what they had to say was that they have the engineers, they have people that can come do it, they can grade all the bill, they can grade it, you know, like what you're gonna do here, and give us a forward thinking that we may need 50,000 for this, 100,000 for this year, next year.
Just so that y'all.
Just so we can plan.
I think that's
I
great.
just like
but
planning.
Every company that comes through that's like them will do the same thing. I'm not dogging them, they probably will do a great job. That, I promise you, I have no dog in the hunt for this. Any of these groups that come in and do this, my only issue for you guys is once you do this RFP, there's gonna be some expectations that y'all set some money aside to get this done. And I don't know that we've necessarily had that conversation about where this money's gonna come from. So I don't wanna put y'all in a position to have an RFP that I have said, hey, yeah, this is great, let's sign it, and then we have no money set aside for it. So that's my only issue. Y'all tell me to move forward, I move forward. If you tell me to slow, because honestly, I've been slow rolling it.
Is there a dollar amount in that?
They don't know what to tell you until they come in here and keep in mind, it's like engineering fees, they get a percentage of everything they find. Which, that's the way the system is set up. I'm not dogging it, I'm just being honest with you. Their job is gonna be to come in here and find as much as they can. And I don't know, when I was selling orange juice, I'd give you all the good stuff about my orange juice. And so they're selling this. So they're gonna give you all the good stuff, but all of these companies are gonna do something very similar. So if y'all want to, just give me a holler when you feel comfortable talking more about it. But I do want to give you a heads up that I have been in conversation with emails back and forth. And they are wanting to know where we are, because I think they're under the impression we're ready to move forward.
Anything else from our board attorneys? Not, we're down to our county supervisor business. We'll start with Supervisor Little. You got anything for the board?
No, I know we're fixing to start working on Morgantown Bridge. Dry Creek's closed, but we gotta, you know, we're waiting on that. But
Do we know when? Sometime? When, I mean, do we have so they're gonna start, do we have like a start date?
no, we don't have anything from the contractor yet, but I mean,
It's imminent.
I mean, it's here, everything's done, they just have to tell us when they're gonna start.
Okay.
Supervisor Carl.
No, sir.
Supervisor Trainer.
A couple of things. I wanted to make sure you all remember, it was prior to Mr. Carpenter's arrival, that we had a presentation from UHY as it relates to some grant services and things they could do for us. And we never did we never did move forward on it. I think we've in a position to move forward. We haven't. And I'd like to see maybe Mr. Carpenter revisit that to see if that is something that we can move forward on. You got your new administration that's coming in, and I think we need to really hit the ground running with all of our efforts on the state level and also on the national level. And then, so I think with the UHY, with the grant opportunity, I want to see us revisit that. Also want to see us revisit the situation surrounding the old Felix Loan Hospital. But I think that we need to come up with some type of solution for that, whatever it may be. And I'd like to see if we can put that on this to-do list too. Maybe to come back with some recommendations on what we may need to look at doing on that. I'd hate to see the year go by and us not have some type of improvement, in that area, whatever we decide we're going to do. We invested a lot of energy in it last year, and I don't think that energy ought to just go to waste. So I'd really like to see us do that.
Can I ask you a question about that? Did we ever get where you could, I'm thinking more of a green space option for now or something, can you, just from a safety standpoint, can you demolish that building and just clean it up?
Not according
Because of
to
asbestos?
Not according to housing history.
However, I can look into what the repercussions for that would be if it just happened to fall.
Yeah.
I mean, if it fell with a dozer, like what was that repercussion with?
Somebody just happened to run into it.
Well, we just need to have some kind of plan, look at all the options.
I'm joking for TV land.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a joke.
That's part of the plan.
That's a joke.
But other than that, that's it. I think that's two things for me today. That's enough.
Supervisor Williams.
Yeah, I want the board to know that I attended the courts for youth, winter coats for youth in Brooksville Garden. Attended that event, and let me say the sheriff department sent representative there, and they were well attended. They had a whole sack of coats, 2 sacks of coats.
Like we went and bought 10 rings.
Yeah, they were new too. They were not used coats. They were new coats that they presented. The sheriff department, the police department presented coats for those young children, and they were real glad to receive those coats for the winter. And they were nice coats too. They were not coats that people got out of the closet that they've been hanging in the closet for years. So I attended that event, and I hope I represented Occidental County Board of Supervisors well in regards to that, because we did make a donation of we made $100 donation for those coats. So we too bought coats too. Well attended event. Our mayor was there, and well attended, and those children were real pleased with the coats that were presented.
They have any other needs or continued needs for that?
Well, they think about having that event more often, and I hope they do, maybe twice a year or something like that, but it does occur every year. So, well, let's look at, there's the organization there called Brookford Garden on the Rise, and they have completely remodeled Brookford Garden. So you would know it now if you go over there. They have redid all of the apartments, and everything is, law enforcement is over there, police in the area. So it's real good, called Brookford Garden on the Rise. So if we wanna make a donation to that organization, we might look into that as a possibility.
I want to tell you about Brooksville Gardens on the Rise and the city time on board. One of the largest deterrents in large-scale apartment complexes across the country is proper parking. And what that sounds odd to say, but if you only allow 2 parking spots, but it keeps an excessive amount of extra cars on site, transient people coming through, because typically it's not homeowners that you're having problems with. A lot of times it's somebody from other cities, so if they don't have to pay. But I find that very interesting from a parking solution standpoint, and I said, no, that's one of, in large-scale cities, that's one of the #1 crime deterrents, is making sure that the people that live there, or people live there. And I thought that was interesting. They have done a lot of renovation, and I know with the camera and the license plate readers and things like that, I know y'all it's been some major improvements, so I encourage everybody to look into that.
Yeah.
That's a good comment. If they do like a summertime shoe program or something, if it's gonna be a biannual, I'd like the board also to get involved with that process.
No, we can individually donate from our own personal stuff. If we're talking about county money, that's a different ballgame altogether. And I don't honestly know that how do I say this? We've got so many worthwhile things that are out there. You can't do all of them. It turns into a pretty big, it could be a pretty big budget item if you're not careful. Now, that being said, we personally, and if anything that y'all wanted to donate to, I'm in, whatever that amount is. But just so you're aware, you'd have to do a local and private on each one of these things, which would require the people that are involved. That's not just a requirement on our side, it's a requirement on their side, and it may be more headache than it's worth to them.
That's why I say, I just so happen to have $100 in my pocket, you know. So that just came from me, but representing the board of supervisors, too as well. But you're right, we have to get local and private, and I don't think they have the paperwork established anyway to do local and private. So now it had to be between, if we want to make a donation, it has to be something that we actually donate.
Is that it coming from?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we certainly do appreciate it, and I'm pretty sure like all the rest of the board members, we're constantly requested for donations. I know for a fact myself in supervisor training, we get hit pretty hard all through the year on lots of donations.
For all of us do.
Yeah, for all of us.
And welcome to the club.
Because it's such a list, but listen,
You just thought you were being paid well.
it's good to be able to donate and help individuals that's in need. I've got a couple of things. One is, you mentioned Clearwater is coming before the board to try and get our priorities that we would like for them to go and try and get funding for. Also, I was talking to our constituency on the federal level, and they indicated that we as a board, we need to identify some priorities. And it would be ideal if it was county projects, not saying that where we could partner with other entities in the city, but they would certainly like for us to focus on county projects first, to go up and ask for federal funding for. So those are a couple of things that I think the board needs to go ahead and get serious about identifying some projects for Clearwater on a state level and on a federal level also, so we can send them after those requests. Again, we talked about allowing our county administrator to schedule department head meetings. And I guess the way we were foreseeing this is we were gonna schedule time slots to have each individual department head to come in and speak with us and just, talk about maybe some challenges that they may be facing, what the board might be able to do to assist them to be more productive.
Did we land on a date? Was that?
We were gonna let you sort of determine that date based around the hospital meeting and things of that nature. Also,
things too, like a news example is, strengths, weaknesses, just some basic business models. I would ask them, the four-way, I'm thinking of one from business school, but what is your greatest strength? What is your greatest weakness? What is exciting things coming up, and what's something new that you see in your department in the next 4 years? So they need to come in, not, there's a bunch of basic business model employee evaluation forms out there. Give them something that they can jot down. Because what we're going to do is I promise you, we're going to learn from them. Boots on the ground. What you'll come in, we'll want to know. I just want to learn. I got to learn a lot more information about what each department does, and looking forward to it. So find something you can provide them. They can get some thoughts down before they come in. So let them know they've all been reappointed, that this is this is not that at all.
It's a help me.
Yeah.
We want to know what we can do to help them, what they can do,
So you can identify some dates and send them out, and we can decide.
And I'm assuming y'all want them kind of back to back to back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Get them over
Absolutely.
with. In other words, we're not
Okay.
spread this out across 10 days. Yeah.
15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the most.
Yes, sir.
Also, I wanted to give some kudos to our sheriff department. We have men's church at our church, and our sheriff has allowed the inmates to come out and attend that men's church. And we understand the logistics of making that happen, but we certainly appreciate it. And I'm gonna tell you, you all ought to sit in on some of those men's church. How those, the inmates, they really get into it. We've had a couple that actually accept Christ doing that. So we certainly want to thank our sheriff department and all your support for allowing the inmates to come out and attend those services with us.
You're sure welcome. I'm not gonna hold back somebody from wanting to get saved. We had baptism at the sheriff's office here about 6 months ago. I think it was like 11 people got baptized.
Man. Yeah, absolutely. So we certainly
Those
appreciate it.
Inmate, you talking about?
Inmates, yes, sir.
We certainly appreciate that. And last, I want to thank the board for the confidence and reappoint me as board president. As always, I do the very best that I can. And congratulations to the vice president. So I certainly appreciate it, and looking forward to big things. Thank our staff, and just thank everybody, our chancellor, clerk, and just thank everybody that Ms. Kristen Campanella, Chief. We just thank everybody for the part you play in keeping our Tippecanoe County rolling down the road, keeping it between the lines. We really appreciate it. We know it's a monumental task, but y'all are professionals, and we certainly appreciate it.
Also, I want to say welcome back, Chief Maurice Johnson.
Absolutely.
Healthy and back to normal.
Absolutely. But with that being said, then we need a motion to set the recess meeting for the 13th.
8 a.m.
At 8 a.m. on the 13th. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Motion passes. We'll adjourn. Thank you all.
Thank you. I think you'll take care. You can introduce it.